Let me share something that may sound surprising at first. Many people over 60 are doing exactly what they were told to do to protect their bones, and at the same time, they may be putting unnecessary stress on their heart and blood vessels. Not because they're careless, not because they ignore advice, but because an important part of the picture was never explained clearly. I've spoken with countless older adults who take their supplements every single day. They don't miss doses. They read labels. They genuinely want to do the right thing. And when they check their bone scans, the results often look great. Strong bones, good density, low fracture risk. But when doctors later look at circulation, arteries, or heart valves, they sometimes notice something else entirely. Stiffness where flexibility should be. This disconnect is confusing for people. How can my bones be strong, but my circulation looks stressed? I followed the rules. What went wrong? To understand this, we need to talk about how certain nutrients behave inside the body, not just what they're supposed to do on paper. Let's start with calcium and vitamin D because almost everyone has heard of them. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium from food and supplements. That's its role. Think of vitamin D as a signal that tells your digestive system, yes, bring this calcium in. When vitamin D levels rise, more calcium enters the bloodstream. That part works very well. But here's the part most people were never told. Once calcium enters the bloodstream, it doesn't automatically know where to go. Calcium is useful, but only when it ends up in the right places. Your bones are constantly renewing themselves. They're ready to receive calcium. But calcium circulating in the blood still needs guidance. Without direction, it can settle in places where it's not helpful. Places that are meant to stay flexible. Over time, this can affect how tissues behave. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but gradually. This is why the balance of nutrients matters more than any single supplement by itself. There are certain nutrients whose job is not to increase calcium, but to guide it. They help make sure calcium supports bones without accumulating where flexibility is important. One of these nutrients acts like a guide. Another supports the enzymes that make vitamin D usable in the first place. When those partners are missing, the system becomes unbalanced. You may be doing something good for one part of your body while unintentionally neglecting another. This is not about blame. It's about understanding how the system works as a whole. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 very common supplement mistakes that many adults over 60 make, without realizing it. These mistakes don't happen because people are reckless. They happen because the details are rarely explained in plain language. And the good news is, these are all things you can adjust. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, just informed choices. When you take vitamin D, your intestines respond by pulling more calcium into your bloodstream. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. The problem is what happens after that. Calcium entering your blood is not automatically assigned a destination. It doesn't come with instructions. It doesn't know where to go. It simply circulates until something tells it what to do next. Your body wants that calcium to end up in your bones. That's where it's useful. But without guidance, calcium can settle wherever conditions allow it to attach. Over time, this may include places that are meant to remain flexible, not rigid. So what provides that guidance? There is a specific nutrient whose main role is calcium direction, making sure calcium goes into bones and stays out of soft tissues. That nutrient is vitamin K2. Think of vitamin D as opening the gate. Vitamin K2 decides where the traffic goes next. Vitamin K2 activates proteins that act like escorts. One group of proteins pulls calcium into bone tissue, strengthening your skeleton. Another group works in blood vessels and heart tissue, helping keep calcium from settling where it doesn't belong. Without enough K2, those proteins remain inactive, which means calcium is absorbed, but not properly guided. This imbalance is sometimes called the calcium paradox. Bones may look strong, while flexibility elsewhere quietly declines over time. And here's why this mistake is so common. Most people don't get much vitamin K2 from their diet. It's found mainly in fermented foods, certain aged cheeses, grass-fed animal products, foods many people rarely eat, especially consistently. So when someone takes vitamin D and calcium without K2 year after year, the system is incomplete. Nothing dramatic happens overnight. This is slow, gradual, easy to miss. But over time, the effects add up. The simple fix is not to stop vitamin D. It's to complete the system. Vitamin D plus vitamin K2 work as a pair. Vitamin D brings calcium in. Vitamin K2 directs it to the right place. When taken together, calcium supports bone strength without creating imbalance. That's mistake number 1. Now let's move to the second major mistake. And this one surprises many people because the symptoms often feel unrelated. Mistake number 2, taking vitamin D without enough magnesium. Vitamin D that you swallow is not active yet. Before your body can actually use it, vitamin D must go through 2 conversion steps, first in the liver, then in the kidneys. Those conversions require enzymes, and those enzymes cannot function without magnesium. Magnesium is what biochemists call a cofactor. No magnesium, no proper activation. When you increase vitamin D intake, you also increase your body's demand for magnesium. If magnesium levels are already low, which is extremely common, vitamin D can quietly drain the remaining reserves. That's when people start noticing things like heart palpitations, muscle cramps, restless sleep, anxiety, fatigue. They assume vitamin D is the problem, but the real issue is magnesium depletion. Vitamin D is asking the body to do more work, and magnesium is the fuel for that work. Without enough fuel, the system strains. The solution is simple. Vitamin D should almost always be paired with adequate magnesium. This doesn't make vitamin D dangerous, it makes it functional. Without magnesium, vitamin D is like an engine without oil. It may run, but not smoothly and not safely. So now we've covered 2 major mistakes. Vitamin D without K2 vitamin D without magnesium. Both are about missing partners, not overdosing. Now let's finish this, because the last 3 mistakes are the reason millions of people take vitamin D for years and still stay deficient, or never get the benefits they expect. Mistake number 3, taking the wrong form of vitamin D. There are 2 different forms of vitamin D used in supplements. They are not the same. They do not work the same. And confusing them quietly sabotages results. The first form is vitamin D2. The second is vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 is the form your skin naturally produces when exposed to sunlight. It's the form your body recognizes, converts efficiently, and keeps active longer. Vitamin D2 is a plant-derived version. Your body can use it, but poorly. Head-to-head studies consistently show that vitamin D3 raises blood levels more effectively, stays active longer, provides more stable results. Vitamin D2 breaks down faster and produces weaker, shorter-lasting increases. So why do so many people end up on D2? Because it's often the default prescription option, cheaper, older, and still treated as equivalent in outdated medical training. If your bottle says ergocalciferol or vitamin D2, that's the inferior form. If it says cholecalciferol or vitamin D3, that's the one you want. Switching from D2 to D3 alone can raise vitamin D levels, even at the same dose. This mistake is silent, common, and completely avoidable. Mistake number 4. Taking vitamin D without fat vitamin D is fat-soluble. That one fact changes everything about absorption. Fat-soluble vitamins cannot be absorbed efficiently with just water, black coffee, or tea. When taken without fat, a large portion of vitamin D simply passes through the digestive system unused. That means you swallowed it, you paid for it, but your body never got it. When vitamin D is taken with fat, absorption can increase by 50–100%. You don't need a large meal. Just enough fat to activate absorption. Eggs, yogurt, nuts, avocado, olive oil, cheese, whole milk. Even a small amount is enough. Taking vitamin D on an empty stomach with coffee is one of the fastest ways to make supplementation ineffective. Same pill, same dose, completely different result, just by changing timing and food. Mistake number 5, taking far too little because of outdated guidelines. This one frustrates me the most. The official recommended daily allowance for vitamin D is still 600 IU for most adults, 800 IU for older adults. Those numbers were designed decades ago to prevent severe bone disease, not to achieve optimal health. They represent minimum survival, not optimal function. Most adults, especially over 60, start with vitamin D levels in the low 20s or 30s. To reach a healthy range, typically 40–60 mg/ml, the body needs more than a teaspoon-level dose. For most people, that means 3,000–5,000 IU daily for several months, then retesting and adjusting. This is not extreme. This is replacement-level dosing for modern indoor lifestyles. Your skin can naturally produce 10,000–25,000 IU from sun exposure in a single session. Supplementation simply replaces what most people no longer make naturally. Taking 600 IU when deficient is like trying to fill a swimming pool with a teaspoon. You'll never reach the target. Testing matters. Dosing should match your actual blood level, not a generic label. Putting it all together, the complete system vitamin D does not work alone. It is a team-based nutrient. To function properly, it needs the right form, D3, not D2, enough magnesium for activation, vitamin K2 to direct calcium, dietary fat for absorption, and a dose high enough to reach optimal blood levels, remove any one of these. And the system underperforms. This is why so many people say, I've been taking vitamin D for years and nothing changed. It's not because vitamin D doesn't work. It's because it was never given the support it requires. What to do next? Starting today. Go check your supplement bottle. Ask yourself, is it D3 or D2? Am I taking magnesium? Am I taking K2? Do I take it with food that contains fat? Do I know my actual blood level? Fixing these 5 mistakes doesn't require extreme measures. It requires precision. When vitamin D is taken correctly, it supports bone strength, cardiovascular health, immune function, muscle performance balance, and fall prevention, especially after age 60. Don't let incomplete information undermine something that can genuinely protect your health. Fix the system, not just the supplement.